Good evening, welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the programme tonight. It's hard to remember any occasion when so many bundles of cash were filmed at any one place. What we've seen in the last 24 hours is unreal. Just look at that. Look at that on your screens over here. Gold and cash, bundle after bundle after bundle. Look at that image on the left. It's absolutely unreal. So massive cash and gold and forex, apparently forex as well, recoveries from the home of Arpita Mukherjee, the aide of Partha Chatterjee, who till he was sacked a few hours back was one of Mamata Banerjee's most senior leaders, one of her most trusted aides. Today the Trinamool may try to distance themselves from Mr. Chatterjee, but many would say that Mamta's arguments that she's being selectively targeted lie flat and that her image as a national leader lies sullied. On the show tonight, money, model and Mantri, Mamta's cash mountain of trouble, is distancing herself from Partha Chatterjee enough to save Mamta's image and her reputation. Joining us now, Saket Gokhale, National Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, Ajay Kumar of the Congress, Shikha Mukherjee, the senior journalist, Chandra Kumar Bose and we're also joined by Bhaskar Ghosh, the BJP leader. Will be joined by Fuad Halim of the CPM in a little while from now. Saket, let me come to you first. Does anybody in the Trinamool Congress have any idea how this volume of money came into the residence of Arpita Mukherjee?
Vishnu, I mean, how are we supposed to know when the ED itself doesn't know how the money came there?
The ED is investigating. No, Saket, it's a basic question and I'll tell you why. And it's a question I think you more than anybody else are best placed to answer. You have lived many years of your life as an anti-corruption crusader. Now in your own political party, when you see money of this sort, I think it does, the question needs to be asked. Did the Trinamool have no idea that one of their senior most leaders was possibly up to no good?
No, it did not, honestly, because see, first of all, Vishnu, the money has been found at the home of somebody called Arpita Mukherjee.
Who's his aide?
Who's a lady? She's neither a member of the Trinamool Congress.
Who's his aide?
Sorry?
Who's his aide? Who's Partha Chatterjee's aide? They work together.
Again, she's not a government servant. She's not a member of the Trinamool Congress. What their equation is best known to both of them. Okay, despite that, today, the Chief Minister of West Bengal took a firm decision. We are also shocked to see this immense amount of money. We are as shocked as everybody is, which is why within 5 days of this coming to light, he has not only been divested of all his portfolios, he has also been expelled from all of the positions that he holds in. Now it is for the ED to investigate. In fact, we are demanding that the ED investigate this case. They don't put it on the back burner. They investigate this in a time-bound manner. And if he is guilty, no matter who the person is, if somebody is found guilty, they should be punished. We as a party, unlike other parties, have shown zero tolerance. I mean, I heard on the show earlier that you were saying, he's considered to be extremely senior in the party and close to the leadership. Even then, he wasn't spared the acts. So in this party, regardless of whether it's Saket Gokhale, whether it's Partha Chatterjee, whether it's anybody else, if you have been found in any way under a cloud of suspicion, you will have to go out, explain yourself, prove yourself. Until then, you have nothing to do with the Trinamool Congress.
Bhaskar Ghosh, is that answer satisfactory or do more questions need to be asked about Mamata Banerjee directly? This sullies her image as a national leader, not just as a Bengal leader, some would say.
Vishnu, I raise my hand so that we have limited time and we should not waste our time on the prevarications what our TMC, Mr. Gokhale is giving. You're rightly choosing the headline today or the caption, Money, Model and Mantri. It was Mamata Banerjee, MMM. Now the Mamata Banerjee has become Money, Model and Mantri. This is exactly the model which has been set up by Mamata Banerjee throughout Bengal for the last 11 years. That there is a corruption, there is a rampant corruption, there is a syndications, and now what Mr. Gokhale says, that this is another attempt to hush up the corruptions and showing that there is no link between Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee. Perhaps it's not updated. Today's newspaper, any news line, She has already accepted that.
No, but let me just ask Saket Gokhale this question. Saket, just half a second, sir.
It's a truth. It's a naked truth today.
No, but isn't it also true there are BJP leaders who have apparently tweeted images of Arpita Mukherjee sitting on a stage at a Trinamool event and being questioned by Mamata Banerjee over it? So is it enough to suggest that Mamata Banerjee didn't even know who she is? Today you're saying that she's not part of the Trinamool, fine. But the fact is there was an acquaintance.
This is ridiculous. Recently Mamata Mukherjee, who was accused of cocaine possession, was arrested for that, was seen in the presence of President-elect Draupadi Murmu. We have seen Prime Minister's pictures with Nirav Modi and a whole lot of other people. Look, the Chief Minister goes to many Durga Puja.
It is not a picture. It has been accepted.
I did not interrupt you when you were talking. Vishnu, this is not done.
We are not here to listen to your prevarication.
No, Mr. Ghosh, 1 second. Let him answer and then you answer after that. Saket, finish your point. Go ahead.
The BJP's desperation. I heard this so-called spokesperson a while ago talk about Bengal as being a hotbed of corruption. These are the people who took in Suvendu Adhikari and stopped all investigation against him in the Sarda scam. With what mouth is the BJP asking questions to anybody?
All right. Mr. Ghosh, why don't you answer that question? The point that Saket mentioned, and I was going to come to that next, is that on the double standards of the BJP, on the one hand, you are accusing the Trinamool of being corrupt, but on the other hand, leaders from the Trinamool who've crossed over to the BJP, Suvendu Adhikari, for example, cases against him are apparently not being pursued at all.
Let me answer it in a very, very fact in the legal framework. Suvendu Adhikari has got the protection from the High Court that until there is strong evidence against him, he cannot be even arrested. Had anyone seen Suvendu Adhikari's home is totally laden with the gold and silver and the cash. Is there any findings? Let the entire government, So how you are anticipating a Suvendu Adhikari? Did any FIR against Suvendu Adhikari have been proved till yet in the court of law? No. Did anyone has given
only to investigate
evidence that Suvendu
investigate it? How will it get proved in court?
This kind of public money stashed away in his home. No. So you cannot compare Suvendu Adhikari with anyone else.
He's saying that it has never been proven.
Is FIR. Most of your cabinet is FIR. Your Kunal Ghosh is FIR. Well, can you show me one instance?
Let me ask you a question. Sorry, Vishnu, I have a question here for the BJP spokesperson. If he's saying that Suvendu was not being investigated because no cash has been found in his house, then please tell me what cash have they found in what cash have they found in Rahul Gandhi's house? What cash have they found in Abhishek Banerjee's house?
Mr. Ghosh, respond to that.
I can't get it because no cash has been found. I said no evidence against Suvendu. Anyone could bring an evidence.
You're not investigating. If you don't investigate,
Partha Chatterjee's investigation at the instruction of the court, not on the instruction of the government.
Has the court told you not to investigate? Has the court told you not to investigate? They've told you not to arrest. They haven't stopped you from investigating.
First of all, Suvendu Adhikari's case is no case here because there is no instruction from the court. This particular investigation of ED is going under the supervision of the court, not under the instigation of the BJP government.
Wait, ED, are you telling me ED needs court orders to investigate? Did the ED order an investigation against Rahul Gandhi? Did the ED order an investigation against? Did the court order an investigation against Abhishek Banerjee?
Yesterday, Supreme Court has given a very clear verdict about the power of ED. Please read the verdict and then come and talk.
So then why is the ED waiting for the court?
Why is it not need a court's permission?
When
your cabinet minister is exposed, you're trying to digress the entire discussion by showing another example, which is not a washing machine,
sir.
But
sir, explain
Mr.
your
Ghosh,
washing
half
machine.
a second. Saket, finish your point. Yes.
Sorry, I just want to say, Vishnu, on one side, this gentleman is saying that these are court-monitored inquiries. On the other side, he's saying that Suvendu Adhikari is not being investigated. Court has said not to arrest. My simple question is, in Maharashtra, MLAs who had ED cases against them alive with the BJP, cases stopped. Ajit Pawar takes an oath with Devendra Fadnavis in the morning, all cases dropped. Suvendu Adhikari, no investigation. Yedurappa, no investigation. Himanta Biswa Sarma joins the BJP, no investigation against him. What is this washing machine then?
Mr. Ghosh, would you like to respond to that quickly before I go?
Of course, any citizen of this country has got liberty to the court and fine and PIL and get the investigation on a realistic...
No, but Mr. Ghosh, the point that Saket is mentioning is correct. Statistically, if you look at the number of BJP leaders who have serious charges and who are not being investigated, it's much, much more than opposition leaders who face the anger of the ED or other investigating agencies.
That's what
there
I'm
must be at
telling.
least
If
2 to 3 times as many leaders in the opposition who are being actively investigated.
See, that's what I'm telling you. That if suppose for just for the reason's sake, if I believe that okay, BJP as they have joined BJP we are not investigating, they can go to the court, get investigating.
All right, okay, fine. Let's move on. Let's move on to some other points. We are making any...
ED will no, sorry. What he's saying is ED will investigate only the opposition. If you want action against BJP, go and file a PIL.
All right, okay, one second. Shikha Mukherjee, how does this affect the public image of Mamata Banerjee? This is a leader who has always said that she is simple, she dresses simply, and she gives an image of being LIP, least important person. I think that's what she has referred to herself as. That's not going to fly in terms of public perception.
No, I mean, look at it this way. Mamata Banerjee took 6 days between the time that Partha Chatterjee was arrested to today to decide how she is going to limit the damage that has been done. And that's the perception factor. So here it is. She waits 6 days and then she announces he's out of the cabinet. He's suspended from the party. So she has come down heavily in 1 day, within hours. She has come to a conclusion that he is currently, as he is being investigated, he's currently a huge liability.
No, but my question to you is, what does this do to the image of Mamata Banerjee nationally?
That's precisely the point. That by distancing herself and by distancing her party, she is trying to limit the damage. And
has she been successful in doing so? Do you believe she will be successful in doing so?
That cannot be assessed in a matter of 2 hours. But the fact that she had to do this damage limitation, that is important.
Dr. Ajay Kumar, at a time when in this country opposition unity, is missing entirely. I know the Congress has differences, massive ones with the Trinamool Congress, but when a senior opposition leader finds leaders in her party in the midst of such a corruption case, does that not hurt the overall battle of the opposition in this country?
So, Vishnu, a couple of points. One is, I heard Saket speaking, and the issue in Bengal, especially with Partha Chatterjee, is the SSC scam and the recruitment scam. Now, my fear is that it's not limited to the political aspect to it. Because everybody in recruitment means all the civil servants involved in it. Because it's not one fish is eating one big fish is eating or creating the scam. So that means across so my fear, and Saket, please take it in a positive way, that my fear is that is everybody involved? Because I've been an ex-civil servant. The question is a recruitment, something like recruitment. You can understand if there are deals being made for a contract or something where there are no limited people, but in a recruitment, you are having right from the advertisement to the people interviewing to the secretaries and everybody else. Now, if that is the proceeds of this corruption, then there is a serious issue for the TMC to understand. Now, not casting aspersions on Mamata Banerjee personally, but how the TMC is functioning for them to say. The other aspect, I think, is look, the opposition unity, how does it impact? It's for all of us to realize a very fundamental question. If 100 crores are being transacted by BJP MPs to become ministers, right? That doesn't seem to say, so why would, that doesn't seem to impact the Apna Dal in terms of why doesn't the question ask that why aren't you impacting the Apna Dal, why aren't you impacting the other
alliance? Dr. Kumar, let me ask you a very basic question, since you have a background as a bureaucrat in the past. For a alleged crime involving jobs, right, for cash, which is what the primary allegation in Bengal presently is, would there be this volume, 20 29 crores in cash plus 5 kilos in gold, apparently forex and a lot more. Would it generate something as much as this?
No,
Bengal is a relatively poor state. In cash, this amount, it seems ludicrous. Does this not point to something much larger?
No, look, the question again is whether it's the proceeds of the crime for the corruption for this incident only, or is it over a period of time for transfer postings and all this, is what scares me in Bengal. And what scares me because, see, I look at it from suppose you're giving a contract, and this just indulge me for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
If it's manipulation of contracts and you give it to your crony capitalist and all that, it's a big game, it's a mega 1,000 crore game, but limited people. But something like a recruitment scam involves a lot of people in the bureaucracy and the chain. That is what scares me. That means, is it something which TMC needs to, is it something they have institutionalized? They need to answer that question. The other question is, look, every opposition party,
I'll come to you, Saket, next. Half a second. Saket, I'll come to you in half a second.
Saket, 1 second. Vishnu, I'll just finish one thing.
It's very easy.
Saket, I'll come to you in half a second. You will reply to this, Saket. Half a second.
5 seconds, Saket. Why I'm raising it as a concern is, it's something which, when I saw the numbers and when I was relating it, it scared me because is it everybody, is it the bureaucracy involved so deeply in it that, you could,
okay.
Is it something which is larger?
Right. Is this something that's systemic? All right. Saket had a point to make. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. No, very respectfully, I would like to ask Dr. Ajoy, who's been in the Congress and who has been a civil servant, it's very easy now for the Congress to pontificate. But very funnily, when something as immense as the Commonwealth Games scam happened, they got rid of Suresh Kalmadi. Did the UPA government make an effort to find out if any bureaucrats were involved?
The question there was an investigation. First question, there was a case registered. Please,
against who? Against Kalmadi? Against Kalmadi? My question is, how many bureaucrats? Let me finish, Dr. Joy. Let me finish. I haven't finished making my point. I haven't finished making my point, sir.
I have one point to make here.
No, 1 second. Mr. Kumar, let him make his point. Yeah, go ahead, Saket.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
See, that's the funny thing about the reason, when you talk about opposition unity, etc., the reason nothing has an effect on opposition unity is because Congress is never a part of it. This is the same party that yesterday, when the entire parliament is protesting over price rise, they're concerned about the Gandhis being called by the ED. So the ED is malicious when it comes to Congress, but the ED is doing its job perfectly when it comes to other parties. This is the reason the Congress party is where it finds.
No, but that argument can be used with the Trinamool as well. When the ED targets your leaders, then it's not okay. Or when the ED questions your leaders, it's not okay. All right, one moment, both of you. Fuad Halim, let me come to you first. Mr. Halim, politically in Bengal, do you believe this is a big enough scandal to see the Trinamool Congress in its present avatar unraveling somewhat?
Well, it's very clear that the Bharatiya Janata Party Trinamool Bonohomi over this incident is spilling out from all sides. First thing you have to keep in mind, Begani Shadi mein Abdullah Diwana. Bharatiya Janata Party did not take this case to court. They are not fighting it in court. Number two, 500 days. The young students who have been selected, should have been selected on merit are on the road. The BJP did not visit them. Number three, they have several MLAs in the assembly. The BJP assembly team did not raise this issue in the West Bengal assembly. They have several MPs. They did not raise this issue in the Lok Sabha. Now, Jagdeep Dhankar, Hemanta Biswa Sarma and Mamata Banerjee had a meeting about 10 days ago. And we know that Mamata Banerjee had promised over there that she will not vote against Jagdeep Dhankar, the vice presidential candidate of the BJP, and there were deals that were struck. This is the spillover from that deal. She is seeking an appointment for Narendra Modi in August already, and we know that this corruption has exposed the Trinamool Congress with their hand in the till. Everybody from top to bottom is there. Let me remind you that on the 4th of February 2021, Rajiv Bandyopadhyay, a minister in the Mamta cabinet, was threatened by the minister, chief minister herself, with an investigation involving the job recruitment in his department because he had departed from the TMC and joined the BJP. Today, he's returned back to the TMC. The chief minister herself had promised to the people of West Bengal that this will be taken up and investigated. What is the status of that investigation? So it's very clear. If you're with the TMC, all crimes you are absolved of. If you are with the BJP, all your crimes are absolved if the BJP is in power. The question is the common man is getting cut off.
All right,
of this
let me bring in Chandra Bose for a quick reaction to that. And Saket, you'll have the last word. It's only fair. But Chandra Bose, the point being mentioned is that the BJP and the Trinamool are somehow working together. It's a fixed match, that there will be meetings between Mamta and the Prime Minister in the future, and that this will all be sorted out. The BJP isn't really pursuing this beyond a certain point.
Mr. Halim, I will tell you this, Vishnu. The problem here is...
Saket, 1 second, let Chandra Bose answer. You'll have the last word, since I need to balance it. But let
we
Mr.
are
Bose
missing
also
out
speak.
the larger issue that corruption with the political fraternity, this has been there since independence. The first scam of independent India was the INA treasure loot scam. Now, we have only observed that these kind of corruption and scams have been on the increase. Now,
No, but sir, the point mentioned by Fuad Halim is whether the BJP and Mamta were sort of coming together, because Mamta has no option but to work with the BJP to get out of the mess that she's in.
Well, that the time would tell. But
you aren't denying
it is not fair. It is not fair to, at this stage, say that there is some kind of arrangement with the BJP and Trinamool. Let us observe. But I would like to state that today, this corruption is not party-centric or candidate-centric or MP-centric. It cuts across all political parties. And it is also there at the center. We have
BJP
seen
as well,
successive governments at the center get deeply involved in corruption charges.
Okay.
So today, West Bengal, we have this, ED has revealed this, but I only feel that ED would take this case to its logical conclusion.
All right, let's see whether the ED actually does that. Saket, last word to you, 30 seconds. Yeah. Is this a match fixed because Mamta has no choice? That's what Fuad Halim suggested.
I thought the most hilarious, but again, this is the Communist Party of India. They're probably going to dig out some Russian Prouda from the 60s, claiming the moon landing never happened, the world is flat. We don't really take the Communist Party very seriously. At the end of the day, today, the CPM was reduced
Vishnu,
to...
just ask him about Narda, Sharda, now...
I did not interrupt you. Do not interrupt. This is not.
Narda, Sharda, and all the scams
have
you
some civility. You're a civil servant.
Look at the courage you have to come on TV and claim to be honest.
What I'm saying.
Narda scam, Sharda scam. The TMC meeting in Darjeeling. Everybody knows. And you come on the TV channel and start, giving pious statements.
I mean,
grow up,
sorry, sir.
Just grow up. I mean,
right up.
Narda, Sharda, 50 crores of cash with one of your most closest ministers. And you have the audience.
All right, look, both of you, I've run out of time and I apologize that I can't, look, I think, once again, everybody settle down. We need to discuss this again. But I think that's just an example of opposition unity in the country at this stage. We'll leave it at that. A couple of comments which have come in on coup. Nikita writes in, Partha used Arpita as a mini bank. Jeet says if anyone is found guilty, he or she must be punished. Absolutely. Let's see how far the investigation goes. We'll take a short break. More coming up.